Welcome to the Femalepreneur Coach podcast. I am your host, Rebecca Barr. I am a transformational mindset and business coach and six-figure award-winning female entrepreneur. Ladies, I'm here to tell you that business and making money doesn't have to be hard when you're in alignment and flow. Inside this podcast, I will be showing you how to transform your mindset to program it for success, how to maximize your money vibrations, and how to redesign your business for ultimate financial and time freedom. You know you are meant to live an epic life. Now it's time to claim it.
There are no end of narcissistic coaches out there that have built their business on what they can get rather than what they can give, that will take your money all day long. But where is the radical responsibility from us as the consumer to really take responsibility for the fact that we are the ones that have bought into these clickbait promises of high cash months with minimal work, no exposure to actual clients or commitment to mastery? Because when you can take responsibility for your part in the problem, that's when you essentially reclaim your power and you can really change the game entirely. So welcome to this week's podcast episode. My name is Rebecca Barr. I am your host, also the Femalepreneur Coach, and I'm super excited to record this podcast episode today because it's essentially something that's been really on my heart around the coaching space for years. You know, I've seen so many incredible women invest in the wrong place, which has then, you know, left them either in financial jeopardy or operating from a complete place of lack of trust, not only in coaches but also in themselves to make the right decision and to really cultivate that self-leadership to know what they need at different stages of their business. And the ripple effect of some of these coaches that are acting without integrity is really just, you know, ultimately cock blocking all of our success, not only for me as the coach and my peers as the coaches that are actually heart-led, integrity-based, values-driven, and all of the things, but also the women that have been exposed to these tactics. And I went to bed yesterday. I was in a Facebook group of other coach communities, and there was so much like negativity around these coaches. 100%. Like, I absolutely agree. I've also been, I was about to say victim, but it isn't. That's the whole point of this podcast episode. You aren't a victim to your circumstances. You have played your part in being part of that problem, and we have essentially fed the beast and lined the pockets of these coaches when probably there were red flags and things that we knew about and, you know, intuitively didn't sound right, didn't feel right, felt a bit too good to be true. But we negated all of that intuition and all of our inner guidance because we were blindsided or, you know, had like love eyes to the promises that they were making. And that is for us to then internalize and do the work on what was it about that. So for me personally, I have definitely experienced this firsthand. I've experienced it in multiple different ways, actually. So firsthand in that my first business coach when I was a business owner, and really how I even became aware that this was even a thing, because it wasn't something that I even knew about in corporate. My first business coach, I think I paid her about £10,000, which was probably about 8 years ago. So that was quite a lot of money back then, to help me to essentially like strategize and scale a business that I had an idea for. It had kind of somewhat been successful, but not really. And I just kind of come to a bit of an impasse. And I was like, I don't know what I don't know at this point. If there's somebody out there that knows more than I do, that can approach this with fresh eyes, like, I'm absolutely here for the support and the guidance. And I really entered into that agreement like wholeheartedly. But did I do my due diligence? Absolutely not. I was blind, like, again, like I don't even know what the word is. I don't mean blindsided, but I was drawn in by somebody that had a really good online presence, seemingly knew their stuff, a bit of a public profile. And that was enough for me to think, okay, she obviously knows what she's doing. She wouldn't put herself out there online if she wasn't able to deliver on what she said. I didn't question anything. We barely had a sales call. I met her once in person, And even then, going forwards, there was no structure, no plan, no call schedule. That it was just very weird, straight from the outset. And the outcome is that essentially, not only did she not help me to really do much with that business, I actually lost that business. And she stopped taking my phone calls. And I got the comment that I've never had a client in such a precarious situation as you. Genuinely, you've tested me as a coach. I didn't know what to do with you, full disclosure. So I just stopped taking your calls. And because we reconnected a couple of years later, and she was like, I'm sorry, like literally, I didn't know, I was out of my depth, didn't know what to do. I've never dealt with like offline businesses. And essentially, like reading between the lines, she just took my money and didn't have any idea or, as to understanding as to my industry, how she could help me. She just wanted my money essentially, and she kind of unapologetically said that afterwards, and it was like, oh, okay. So she literally just disappeared in the background. It always reminds me of that Homer Simpson gif where there's like the hedge and she literally just like disappeared into the background. So she just basically stopped taking my phone calls, and it was like, oh, okay. Not only am I like really disappointed, I'm also like going through a really tough emotional time. Like I've got kids and all the things, like this has now put me in financial jeopardy, and I don't even have the support of a mentor to help me guide me through that. Like she could have dealt with that situation a lot better. I hadn't put any pressure on her to be my savior. So there was absolutely, I had my eyes wide open in that sense, and that nobody else can save me, but I really need your help. And when it did go sideways, the least she could have done was at least be there to support me through the emotional trauma of that. Obviously, she wasn't. Now, did that put me off every coach ever again? No, absolutely not, because I still believe in the value of coaching and mentorship. And as women, like not having to do these things alone, I don't expect anybody outside of myself to save me. That's the reality. Like I can, and even now, I've got a really incredible mentor. She's really activating. She works specifically, like I really resonate with her energy. She's fantastic. Is she for everybody? Absolutely not. I've already got other clients and peers that are like, oh yeah, that's not for me. But for me personally, she does what needs to be done, i.e. she lights fire in my belly and up my ass. And I think, I've got a lot of respect for her leadership. And she makes me want to do better. Is she hand-holding me through any process? No, she's never going to know my business as good as I will, or understand my commitments at home and everything, and my bigger soul's purpose and all the things. She's a human being, to put that expectation on her and put her on a pedestal in that way would be really unfair, and also really disempowering to me as a woman. Like we're all creative, all intelligent, all really powerful beings. If we keep putting our power outside of ourselves, then you never really are able to tap into it in the first place. So I'm not naive in the sense of what a mentor can actually do for you, but still along the way I have definitely bought into, again, programs that didn't deliver at all. And I think as a business coach, like my commitment is that I kind of go out there, and I've invested so many thousands, probably nearly six figures, in coaches, programs, certifications, modalities, and all of the things, because I need to then be able to bring all of this learned wisdom. It's part of my human design. I need to go away and do all the things. I'm a manifesting generator. I can handle multiple projects. I can do lots of different things. I can have different views and ways of looking at something. I'm highly strategic, but also spiritual. I'm kind of like the well-rounded, do all the things type of person. That's part of my energy type as a manifesting generator. And that just enhances this experience for my clients. So I accept the assignment when I came into business coaching and realized that, wow, there are loads of people doing this in so many different ways. The reality is, not every person that comes to me is going to resonate with the ABC step method of this. So my commitment to mastery is to go out there and throw as much at it as possible, learn as many different strategies, learn as many different platforms, learn as many different like mentorship styles and way monetization tactics and all of the things, so that I can then bring that together. I can learn my own wisdom, take what I need and leave what I don't. so that I've then got this complete toolkit. When clients then come to me, I have so many different ways that I can support them to get the same outcome, but in a way that's totally tailored to them. So even the bad investments that I've made, and I have made some shocking ones, I very much at the beginning, moving from the offline space as an entrepreneur and fundamentally believing that people are good and we all want to support each other, and really being bought into that abundance mindset where there is no competition, only collaboration, then coming into the online space where actually there's some real fucking narcissistic sharks here who are completely here for the wrong reasons, that will take your money every day of the week and will not give two fucks about what your results or outcome are. I bought into the bro marketing, the urgency, the scarcity. I invested in programs that I had no business being in. I've invested in masterminds that I had no business being in, and realized very quickly when I got on the other side of the sales page how different the mental was. And that, I could sit here and be bitter, I could sit here and be resentful, I could sit here and let that trauma or that experience define what I'm willing to invest in going forwards. Or I can reclaim my power. I can learn the lessons. I can allow that to be an opportunity for growth inside myself, to self-lead myself in the future around being more discerning with where I'm putting my energy, where I'm allowing other people to take my power, and where I'm allowing others to guide me, and really come out of this as an absolute badass. Still, with an anything is possible, people are fundamentally good mindset, that still knowing that there is always room for growth. So I will always continue to be in integrity with what I am selling as a coach and continue to invest in my own development and growth. So that's the thing, that's the difference that I want to kind of put to you today, is that when I saw in this Facebook group, everybody's being super negative, and it's like, all we need to do is regulate the coaching industry more. So I just sat and I thought, well, is that not taking even more power away from the consumer? That we don't trust you to make your own decisions now. I mean, absolutely, by the way, we need to regulate the coaching industry. Absolutely. As somebody who has invested absolutely thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands into my modalities and mastering my craft, and hours of working with clients for free for practically no money before I then, ascended my pricing to the high ticket element that it is now, even though that's still not relatively high ticket, my prices are still actually very accessible. I don't need somebody to babysit me and tell me what is a good decision and what isn't. What I need to do is start looking within and empowering myself to know the difference, so that people can't take the piss, because if it isn't this, how you do one thing in life, it will be something else. And if you are unable to make your own decisions in purchasing, guess what? That probably means that you're going to be deferring your power to lots of other people around you in other situations in your life too. And that for me became really sad. It was like, so what we're saying is like the government, big brother, they need to regulate our decisions. And as somebody who has committed all of those hours and money to mastering my craft, to see things online where it's like, become a coach for $7 I saw yesterday, that literally blew my mind. And it really leaves a bad taste in my mouth that there are people going out there, and don't even get me started on the absolute BS modalities that I've seen going around online to people and being sold to people that have no business dealing with deep subconscious work and trauma. But it's been packaged in a way that, again, is like, learn this one thing and you'll be healed in one session. How is this possible? We know neuroscience and everything else tells us that you cannot reprogram somebody's neural network pathways in one session. It doesn't happen. It's like when you can be in the energy of somebody and be really motivated, really excited, really uplifted, like, yes, oh my God, they are so right. They have reframed that thing that has changed the game forever. Well, the reality is that energy is infectious. Most of our human design energy types, generators, manifesting generators, like our energy is, we're all connected. Our energy is infectious, and you can be in the presence, even online, of somebody who's super high vibe, motivating, Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, and then walk away to, a couple of hours later and the kids are arguing and you've switched on the news, or had a like really annoying conversation with your partner, and your energy has just been zapped, and you're like, oh, where is all that those good vibes that I just had 2 hours ago? And that is because it's like a false like prop, basically. You've been propped up by somebody else's energy, but the real transformation doesn't happen until you change at an identity level. And that takes time, that takes awareness, it takes reprogramming. So to see other people marketing these courses and programs online as learn my modality that I just literally pulled out my ass, and is a complete rip-off of lots of other modalities, and also slags off everybody else's modalities that have been around for hundreds of years, getting results and changing lives. We don't need to worry about any of that. Just do my thing. Do my thing. It's fine. And you will then be able to go away and cure a client in one session. That is horrifying to me. And the repercussions of that on the other side, having like, you know, experienced and spoken to the people that have used this modality, with their clients, they've then unearthed all of this deep-seated trauma and been left with an absolute like wreck of a client that they don't know, nor are they equipped to deal with or handle. And funny enough, by that same business coach that completely ghosted me all those years ago, it's the same person. And it's like, wow. And I can sit there and throw stones and cast judgment all day long. But does that ultimately feed my soul? No. Does that feel good too? No. I trust that anybody that has invested in those sorts of programs will make their own assumptions, because we're intelligent women like I did, and they will find out for themselves. That's why coaches like that are burning through their audience and having to resort to more and more like scarcity bro marketing tactics, having spent to convert their clients. They're having to like essentially become like this Jesus to their disciples, where they are attracting more and more people that are lost and looking for that leader. They're having to step more and more into that role, where, I mean, some of the testimonials, it makes no bloody sense to me, where it's like, oh my God, da, 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 da. And it's like you've just essentially bought into their conviction and their energy that you are going to be healed. I'm telling you, do this one thing, you will be good. You're buying into their false confidence, and you're like, okay, yeah, okay, I'll be good. Let's see if those testimonials still stack up 6 months down the line when that person is not healed, because I guarantee if you revisited those, something's going to be off and they wouldn't get the social proof that they do. But they're also having to spend more on ads and build bigger and bigger teams and all the things. Now, would I want a business like that? Hell no. My soul is so much more like, is the ultimate thing for me. Being able to sleep at night and know that I am in integrity with what I am doing, and I'm coming from a place of good intentions and love and all of the things, means so much more to me than those people, because I know personally those people are broken. And I would, you know, behind the scenes and all the things, I would not want to be those people in a million years. Like, how do you sleep at night knowing that any point your business could collapse? And they do. That's the thing. I've seen this online. I've been around a very long time. Those businesses do not have any longevity because people are angry. People will get angry. They will, you know, they will feel cheated. They will feel like a victim. They will come after those people. And again, I've seen that. So I would not want to mess with people and play to their vulnerabilities, play to their insecurities, and then feel like I'm going to get away with that, because it won't. So for me personally, it's like, I know that karma will play a part on those coaches, but equally, where do we as the consumer that are lining the pockets and feeding the beast take radical responsibility for our part in becoming part of the problem? And this for me was a no-brainer, but I know for some people they really struggle with taking responsibility, particularly when somebody's taken their money. Now for me, like, I know for a fact, coming from corporate and then going into entrepreneurship and buying a business that was a brick and mortar business that was open 7 days a week from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, I had some resentment towards that business by the end of it. I had given up weekends with my young kids, because they would have been, I think Riley was probably only like 1 or 2 when I bought that business. There were many weekends with my kids in childcare, or even upstairs in the shop, where I was downstairs dealing with issues, where I had so much fear that I could not leave that business because I didn't trust the staff, I didn't trust myself, and I was very much in pusher energy, where if I'm here, things will go well. If they don't, if I'm not, then they won't, you know. So like, and my staff were lazy at times as well, so it wasn't completely unfounded. But I gave up and sacrificed so much of that business. Like, we didn't even have holidays for years. And that, again, I take radical responsibility for allowing myself to be in that situation and all of the things. I should have stopped that sooner, but I didn't. But inevitably, when I came out of that business, it felt like I jumped straight from an 80-hour week in corporate, or 60-hour week in corporate and traveling and not being with my kids, to then 100-hour a week business where I was just never able to switch off, to then be told by somebody else online that I could work a fraction of the hours that I was working from the comfort of my own home, be with my kids, and earn twice the profit that I was earning before. You best believe I was listening. I was very much like, every part of my spider senses is saying that this is too good to be true. But I want to lean in anyway, because there's that desire for me that I'm willing to take the risk. Now, did I, like I say, believe that anybody else could save me and all the things? Did I know that there must be more to it than that? I'm not buying into the fact that I can do this from my pants and work from my phone and that's it, because if that was the case, everybody would be doing it, right? So I already had a certain level of discernment, but equally I was quick to hope that there might be such a thing, and I just need to learn the strategy. So, you know, that's a moment of reflection for me, isn't it? Where did I feel that by me, that there wasn't a middle ground, that it had to be an either or? It had to be, you work 20 billion thousand hours, or you learn this one strategy and you can work no hours. Like, there was an element of ego in there for me, that I wanted to take the easy way out. I wasn't wanting to commit to mastery. I didn't feel like I had capacity for anything else, because I wanted to build this up alongside the other business. And I was looking for the easy way out. Let's be honest. Like, let's hold up our hands. Let me know in the comments if you've been guilty of this. Sometimes we are lazy and we want the easy way out. Now, how this has evolved and translated, because equally, I believe that there are opportunities to ensure that you are fully optimizing and leveraging your business. So there are elements of easy money, and ensuring that you never leave money on the table. I have learned those over a very long and arduous 5 years as a business coach, and 9 years in business, what that looks like, you know. And now when I work with clients and I talk about fully optimizing their business and making passive income and building their monthly recurring revenue, never at any point am I telling them this is going to be easy. Actually, there's going to be a lot of work up front, and there's going to be a lot of trialing and testing, and there's going to need to be a lot of strategic focus and planning. But 100%, is it possible? Yes. I've got 27 revenue streams in my business. There are programs and assets that I have created that continue to be the gift that keeps on giving. I don't have to do anything to generate sales from those. But if I did put more energy into generating sales for those things, am I going to make more meaningful sales? Yes, of course. Like, energy flows where focus goes, so it makes sense. But now, again, like I say, I don't want to be part of the problem. I could lead with all of that on my marketing strategies, on my socials. I could say, I can show you how to do this thing. I can tell you how to do this thing, make loads of money with minimal effort, ultimately overall. But I don't want to be part of the problem, because I'm going to attract people that just want those quick wins and don't want to do the work. And I have done that. This has been a dilemma for me, because the reality is I have 5 children, single parent, all of the things. And I am very strategic about identifying very quickly in my business what is going to get me the most bang for my buck, what are the income producing activities that are actually going to move the needle in my business, and ensure that I am getting as much return on that effort as possible. That is why I'm known as the Queen of Leverage. I teach my clients to leverage their time, energy, and their money. And the reality is I only have 2 days of childcare a week. Now, I started to lead with that because that felt very like it was me owning my story, me owning the fact that other people could do the same. But what I realized very quickly was that I was attracting a completely misaligned client who weren't prepared to do the work. And I actually had a client sign on with me as a one-to-one, tell me that she was going to do all the work. Yeah, I'm fully committed. I'm going to do the things. Manifestation coach, with no modalities, no commitment to learning any of the deep subconscious work that will essentially block what it is that you want from coming in, hadn't educated herself in any way. And as soon as we got into the first sessions and I kind of, pointed some of this out and really mapped out what the next 6 months would look like for her, she was really honest. And she's like, girl, I'm going to be really honest. This is not for me. This is far more hard work than I realized. And all I want is 10K months. So where's the problem? And I was like, oh my God, I was really shocked, because I think it's something that had kind of been niggling me when I'd been meeting clients, and it's like there just seems to be this resistance to do the work, excuses every week around things weren't getting done. And it wasn't until we had that conversation that I was like, I need to change my marketing quick, because I am attracting people that just don't want to commit to mastery. And when I look back and think of my soul's purpose, why I even moved into coaching in the first place, it's because I wanted to support women who had the potential in their business to be here for the long haul, that wanted to change their lives, that wanted to serve and make the world a better place, but had perhaps not even seen the full potential of their business, that didn't have the strategic mindset and the financial commercial awareness that I do to really fully monetize everything that they had. They maybe didn't necessarily have that big picture vision yet, but they knew that they had something special, and certainly didn't know how to execute. Those were the women that I wanted to support, because with every woman like that really creates legacy, that's built a personal brand, that has a stable foundation to their business and that long-term bigger picture vision, the world becomes a better place. Like, good women that make good money do good things. And realizing that I was essentially becoming part of the problem and attracting these women that felt that they could do absolutely nothing and make all of this money literally made me feel sick to my stomach. And I've turned away clients like that ever since, because for me, there is no longevity in that. And you're also ruining it for everybody else that actually does give a shit. And I don't want to be part of the problem. And has that cost me money? 100%. Has that cost me clients? 100%. Has that cost me visibility? Because I haven't been able to then in integrity market these clickbait things, wins and all the things. Absolutely. But am I happy? Yes. Do I sleep at night? Yes. Do I have a great reputation in the coaching space as somebody who has integrity? Hell yes. Does that mean more to me? Yes. I've got my kids watching. Like, this is there are always easier ways to make money. I'm an entrepreneur. To put your heart and soul into a business where you are essentially the personal brand, it has to be something that really is the truest reflection of your soul, and your business just the conduit to allow you to express it. Like, I believe that. I'm not full of shit. I believe that wholeheartedly. And maybe it comes from the fact that I have been a business owner, and a lot of people have moved from corporate into coaching, and this is all they know. So they are being guided by these other higher level mentors that are telling them that it's okay to do these things, and have essentially scaled themselves out of a business where it's now they can make these audacious amounts of money. And I feel like we need a moment, like, let's get some perspective right here. Like, I earned really good money in corporate, but it is nowhere near what I earn now. And I had to work 80 hours a week for that money. Even if I made the same money as corporate and managed to do it at home and be present for every school run and be available for my kids and be making the world a better place and not have to deal with like crappy bosses and all the things, would that not still be a win? Like, where is this entitlement and this audacity to these incredibly high cash months with no exchange of value for the people that you're leading and serving? Like, let's get a moment and get some perspective on that, because it really was something that I had to think about. Now, as a money mindset coach, I know that you can receive massive compensation for your work, and I would never want to diminish or lower somebody's goals, but equally understand that nobody got to those amounts of money by not providing value in exchange for their audience. It just didn't fucking happen. Even from the outset, they must have done something right at some point, and then they found shortcuts. Because otherwise they would never have had a business in the first place. So that is just some kind of food for thought, I guess. And this is the same for whether you're a service provider. Where are you being drawn in by those promises of loads of money with no work? And is that really the kind of person that you want to be? I'm all about, because what happens now is when clients come to me, they're pleasantly surprised by not the shortcuts, but the efficiencies that we can make in their business and the leverage that we can create. That means that actually the better it gets, and you can make money in really smart ways that don't compromise your soul and, just reward you for all of that great karma and work up front. They are pleasantly surprised by that. And it's just like, yes, girl, I got you. But I'm not leading with that, because it just attracts a whole different vibe and energy that I don't really want to be part of. And I've actually had to move away from mentors who have encouraged me to do that too. And just triple your prices, just like throw as many people in your group programs as you possibly can, add the urgency, add the scarcity, tell them that the price is disappearing and it will never be the same again. Like, cart's closing, add this. And I'm like, none of that feels good because it's not actually true. I would rather people come to me when they are ready. I've had, definitely at the beginning, I've had coaches tell me to take car payments on the call. I've had multiple coaches, old school coaches, tell me to do that. Take the deposit on the call, non-refundable and all the things, and like bring their partners on the call. Like, let's get the yes right now. Don't allow them to go away for a moment to reflect, to consider, and then guess what? I've been sold into programs in those ways, and guess what? Your energy is completely different. I don't want a client to come to me from a place of, fuck, this needs to work. Like, I have invested everything I have into this, and if it doesn't work, I'm absolutely screwed. Like, me and my family are in financial jeopardy. Because guess what? When I'm then talking about bigger picture thinking and playing the long game of business, they don't want to. They are like, no, I need money in the bank. Who can pay me today? Like, the desperation and the stress and the effect that has on your nervous system, because they are not prepared to move from vision or long-term plans. They are only prepared to what will get me money today. Like, it's not a good place to be, and it's not a good place to be as a coach and to witness and to be trying to then hustle and help that person and constantly pivoting and dropping this thing that we're building and scaling over here because we need something over here. Like, who wants to work in that manic energy? But also, I want those women to come to me having invested as a symbolic gesture, that they are ready for more, that they understand that they are ready for that next level of success, and that there will be some opportunities for growth along that way, that want to be guided, that want to be supported, that want to, have the knowledge and the strategy and all the things that they don't know, because you don't know what you don't know. But it's like, I'm ready, I'm excited, let's go. What magic can we create in the next 6 months, 12 months? Like, I'm open to it. Not, I'm desperate and you need to help me. Like, that never feels good. And ultimately, what is created at the end of that would never be as fulfilling or really even reaching the full potential as over here, where it's like, I am ready for next level success. And ultimately, the money comes anyway. That's the thing. The money and the next level vision comes anyway. So we need to stop sacrificing like what feels like short-term pleasure for long-term pain, and instead play the long game in your business. And equally, be discerning and learn how to lead yourself with what you need at what stage of business. This is the thing. So for me now, I haven't been through a few of those experiences and invested like 20,000+ pounds into a mentor, to then realize that actually this isn't what I need at this season of business. And as much as, they're telling me they can get me results and their clients are making 100k launches and that isn't really my style, my vibe, what I need right now. What I need is to heal, to be supported, to be activated, to be guided. Like, I want the depth of conversation and to feel like I'm being seen, and to feel like the conversations that I'm having matter. I want to be around other female leaders and all of the things. And that was me being really honest about, I'm in this season of life and the season of business where that to me feels more fulfilling in my soul than learning another hack for a funnel. Like, okay, I'm an intelligent woman, I can probably YouTube that, like, I'm pretty sure I can figure that out. I don't need somebody to guide me in that way. I need somebody to guide me and to see the blind spots and all of the things. And this is what I've then gone away and cultivated in my own community, so that the women coming in my masterminds, that I'm very much a purist about what a mastermind is. Lots of my peers, it's like my biggest frustration in life is coaches that are like, I want to launch a mastermind. You're not launching a mastermind, you are launching a high ticket group coaching program, but you are not going to market it as that because you don't believe that you can put a high ticket price point on it. So you're going to call it a mastermind so that you can essentially charge premium prices for it. Like, what the actual F? It really makes me so sad, because they should know better and they choose to know better and instead follow these like false prophets who tell them that they can make a shit ton of money on a high ticket mastermind and deliver a really mediocre shit experience for everybody in it, where it is essentially their show and nobody else's, and just pile it as high as possible, make your money and get the fuck out of there. Like, really? Really, why are you following these people? Do you not have more respect for yourself and the intention and goals that you had when you initially came into this field? And I've seen it hundreds of times, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times in multiple masterminds, in multiple communities. And it's like, I get it, girl, I get it. I get it. While you would be drawn in by that, but you are a powerful woman with her own mind and her own conscience and her own moral compass. Stop giving your power away to somebody else and negating your part in that process by saying, well, doesn't quite feel right, but if they say I can do it, then I'm not really responsible. If you know, ultimately I'm a very like questionable person, it's okay because they told me to do it and I was just doing what I was told and now I've made a shit ton of money. Okay, like, stop being so passive in your life. You're giving away your power to other people. If something doesn't intuitively feel right, stand up for, advocate for yourself, self-lead, become your own leader and say, actually, do you know what, even though you're doing it that way and it's making you a shit ton of money, that doesn't feel good to me. I'm going to do it my own way over here that feels really aligned, that I can really get behind. Because ultimately what happens is their coach will tell them that they can sell this, but that because there is that part of them, hopefully, please God, that tells them that they're like, that doesn't quite feel right, they won't be able to sell it with the same conviction. And then they don't get the same outcome as that coach, because that coach actually believes their own Kool-Aid and or they've got a massive team that they are hiding behind to go out and essentially do their bidding. And that is how they've got to the place where they've got. Because I mean, God, I could talk about this all day, but essentially we all have to live and die by our own sword and make our own decisions and create our own karma. So if something does not feel good, don't do it, and stop allowing your power to be given away. And that's what I've done. I went away and took a radical, long, hard look at myself and my programs and thought, are they what I want them to be right now? Are they delivering the results that I want them to be? Are they those conduits for those conversations and that close proximity mentorship that I am currently craving? Because if I'm craving it, guarantee there will be other people. And that's where I had to split out my programs, where it's like, wow, I've got the academy, which is very much the how-to for anybody that doesn't know, but I have re-recorded to add in so many elements around leadership and being the change that you want to see and being your own internal guide as to taking what you need and leaving what you don't, so that this then filters out and empowers you in other areas of your life. And then I've got the mastermind for the women who are already somewhat established. I would not sell complete beginners into my masterminds. And I've been sold into masterminds where I'm the biggest fish there, without any sense of ego. Like, I'm the most established and further on in my journey person there. So guess what? Instantly pissed off. There is nothing that I can learn from anyone else in this group. All I'm going to be used as is as a resource and as a support. And I'm a good fucking person. I want to help everybody, but this is not a good use of my energy, and it is not a fair exchange of value and my time. And as a strategic businesswoman with only minimal time and resources, this just doesn't make sense. And literally, I got into this mastermind and I just immediately linked out, because I was like, well, I honor my commitments, and I took ownership for my part in the sales process. I allowed myself to be pressured and rushed and all the things. I'm not going to go back to the host and say, you sold me an absolute pile of crap, I don't want to be here anymore, give me my money back. Because I'm not a child, I'm a woman. So I took responsibility, I made my payments, I did my thing, but I was not an active part in that. Well, I mean, I was. By the end, I was practically co-coaching, but equally, it was a very much a learning point for me that I need to really do my due diligence. So I'm going to make an investment at that level. It was 5 figures. I've got to make sure that I am getting what I need from it, and essentially ensure that that is the same with my mastermind. So ensuring, for me, a mastermind is very much around, you bring together, you have one facilitator or host who brings together a collective and a community of incredible people that are all at similar points in their journey, but want to benefit from the collective mind, i.e., we all bring something different to the table. If I talk to you about your business and bring a fresh pair of eyes and a fresh perspective, tell you what's working in my business right now so you can take inspiration and bounce ideas off of, then that's a valuable exchange. All of the women in my mastermind are somewhat established entrepreneurs, coaches, service providers who are already making money, who are already like very much grounded in themselves, what they bring to the table, so that when they then get together and have those meaningful conversations, and we have in-person sessions and all the things, everybody's at an equal playing field. There is nobody here that is draining the group, that is like the constant, like the needy Nelly of the group, who is not a self-led, self-motivated woman who could be resourceful and find out how to build an email list, because they'd have access to my academy anyway, but that is empowered. Because also with my mastermind, we talk about leadership, we talk about the change that we want to be in our respective industries. We inspire each other to want more, to go bigger, to push ourselves outside our comfort zones and see what we are capable of. We support and champion each other's businesses with meaningful connections. You know, my women love to collaborate and support each other and work with each other and send each other referrals and all of the things. They could not do that if there was a misalignment or imbalance in terms of power and value that they bring to the table. That to me is what a mastermind is. It's not me every week, the Rebecca show, going in and giving teachings. And if you are presenting your mastermind in that, if you are not facilitating your mastermind in that way, then really it's not a mastermind. Because if you think back to the days of Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich, the mastermind is about bringing together collective minds to ignite additional elements and levels of creativity and inspiration and activation than is possible for one mind alone. This isn't your show. It is about the group and the collective, and being in service and leading and guiding a collective of women. That is what it is for me. And I'm very much you know, it's very much a collaborative effort. You know, we also have the bougie experiences, and we have fun and higher level strategies and wealth building guest experts and all the things. But ultimately, it is not about me. This isn't about blowing smoke up my ass and all the things. I would not be charging that price point if it was just another high level group coaching program. And it's not even that high, by the way. My program is not that high. But that was the thing that I had to go away and think about. And so that's my invitation for you, I guess, today, is to really understand, like, where are you giving away your power to other people in other industries? Where are you feeding the beast, essentially, and becoming part of the problem? Where are you not really holding yourself to this higher standard? Like, I really believe that there is a lack. I don't want to say that because it sounds really negative, and I don't want to be negative, and this isn't about judgment, but it's about awareness and understanding that if you are a coach, if you are a service provider, if you are living in such an abundant time that you get to do what you love in an incredible flexible and freedom-based way, and all of the things entirely on your own terms, like, that is a privilege and a blessing that no other generations before us have had. So I do not take that for granted in any way. So how can you, with that in mind, and really understanding, like, the opportunity that we have here to make it even better going forwards, where are you able to now hold yourself to a higher standard? Like, let's commit to mastery. Let's stop buying into these clickbait programs that are essentially like, make 100k in your pants at home doing nothing. Like, do you really want to do that? Because that doesn't feel very fulfilling to me. I had an Amazon business for a while, and it was basically that, and that didn't fill my soul. That, yeah, it made money, great, didn't excite me. I had a retail business for a really long time that didn't actually allow me to personally interact with the clients. It didn't really fulfill me. Like, the money was great, the business of business is great, but it didn't give me that deeper connection to my purpose. It didn't really unlock the person that I was and the person that I was capable of, until I really did this confronting, deep dive, self-leadership work that I now stand before you as a fully empowered, like, next level version of myself that I didn't even know existed, especially when I was in corporate. But you know, is that really what you want? Or can we be the generation that makes a collective huge quantum leap forwards in making the world a better place, earning a shit ton of money and doing it with integrity and value, being a leader for our industry and a real inspiration for the clients that are going to be working with us, committing to mastery and not buying into these and long-term growth and development through things like masterminds and more certified accreditations. Like, where can we really, like, take massive collective steps forward and really be all we can be, unlock that potential of who you were meant to be. Stop allowing everybody else to dim your light and make you play small and make you hustle and grind and look for these quick wins. You're so much more capable of that. You really are, like, incredible. And these other false prophets that are promising you the world with minimal return, like an input, are really shortchanging the potential that is within inside you. So that's my kind of TED talk today. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please, 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 please make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, do all the things, and share it with somebody else that you feel really needs that moment of reflection today to understand what a true badass they are. And thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for listening to this episode. It's been amazing to share this time with you, and I feel honoured to be part of your journey. If you've loved what you've heard, had an aha moment, or found value in this episode, then please do like, comment and share. I would love to connect with you on Instagram and Facebook, so come and find me, and I look forward to helping you build your epic life.